Welcome to this Murton Zoodikers seminar on social media. There's no doubt that social media has been the phenomenon of the 21st century. We all know those logos. They seem now to invade our lives. You can't go on a newspaper without them imploring you to share whatever article you're reading on a number of social media websites.
Today's all about the legal aspects, social media and the law. You know, I know for a fact in working with many companies, working with HR directors, you know, crafting policies, talking to Twitter and learning all about these different laws. You know, it is a difficult area, but this shouldn't be the bit that stops you from getting involved, because this is the small percentage. You can get a policy, you can get your strategy right, and then the majority of it will be plain sailing. But the start point has to be, if you're going to be successful at it, having a really clear strategy. So how do you map on to all your different objectives the different social media platforms? How do people need to perceive us as a company? And how can we therefore embed key messages into all of our collaterals and our Twitter and our posters and all of our other marketing comms? You can go to Twitter, you can go to LinkedIn, you can get information, but you could get that off their website. But if they actually start to engage with you, as some of these people do, you know, it's going to make it so much better that it's going to keep popping up on your radar. So it's about taking the mediums that are out there. So YouTube, for example, you know, the second largest search engine in the world. If you've got fresh content on YouTube, if you've got blogs and tweets and so on, it will really help your organic search engine optimization. You know, 25% of the organic results now in search are being driven by social media. So it's another really important reason to be doing, you know, to be having fresh content on them.
Social media policy, point one, don't be stupid. 2, read point 1. Go back to work. That's it. Really, it is. You know, it's in our employee handbook. I guarantee there's something along the lines of, it is expected that you will keep company business confidential. Right? Nothing particularly difficult about that, is there? If someone breaches that confidentiality, you give them a disciplinary proceeding. As long as you set the expectation out, it's not a big deal. That's all the tribunal is trying to figure out is, what was expected of this person? Did they meet those expectations? It has been a phenomenon in the last, well, since the social media world began, I suppose, that prospective employers vet employees using social media. I mean, it's terrifying. If people knew what I did when I was 15, I would never have got a job, right? I mean, really. Because people will judge people's ability to be an employee based on something they might have done 5 years ago, which they've talked about on their social media website. The risk with vetting using social media is that you stand a very good chance of being discriminatory. There is no cap on damages for discrimination. Okay? So, be very careful. The legal relationship between an employer and employee, the legal rules, you could look up the Employment Act. You will not find reference to the workplace as the place that the law applies. It is not the workplace, it is the relationship.
I think the thing I found most interesting this evening about the seminar was, the first thing was the fact that Katie said this is the current industrial revolution, and that really resonated with me.
It was interesting hearing from Alex about how social media doesn't have to be complicated and the policies around that don't have to be complicated.
One of the biggest challenges for us is time, but I think it's one of those things you've got to accept. You've got to commit the time to it and then form a process how you actually deal with it.
It's getting people to know you personally rather than just putting out your corporate messages.